Anna Zinola, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much.
How have you been? I know you've been in Italy recently. How's Milan? How's the weather there?
Oh, it was super hot. Milano was very hot and humid. Not hot as Riyadh, but Riyadh fortunately is dry.
Yeah, is this your first summer here? You spend it in Saudi or
It's
no?
my second one. I was relocated in May 25. So I spent the first period here in Riyadh was summer. So halas, I have
Alas. What other Arabic words have you got on?
five words. So like inshallah, mashallah, shukran, afwan, that basic.
These are the most important ones. I mean, you can have conversations with them.
Well, not really conversation, but I can interact.
Definitely, definitely. So I want to get straight into it. Anna, you've built a successful career in many different paths. You have a PhD in research methodology. You have written, I think, more than 10 books about consumer behavior, correct?
Correct.
You're also what they call a columnist at Corriere della Sera, which is one of Italy's biggest daily newspapers.
Correct.
And now you're leading one of the world's most prestigious fashion schools here in Saudi Arabia. Could you tell me a little bit about that journey? How did you get here? What brought you onto this journey?
Well, in my path, I always put together the academic side with the business side. I try to balance these two sides, and this is the reason why I am here. I am the school and education director of Istituto Marangoni Riyadh. We opened it 1 year ago, August 25. And I manage both the, let's say, business management part and the academic one. So all my career is on that direction. The difference here is that we are talking about fashion. So Istituto Marangoni is about fashion. Fashion business, fashion design, fashion communication and image, draping, pattern making, but everything is related to fashion.
Okay, so it's like a big scope. Are you like an expert in a specific scope or like in general fashion from every direction?
No, in different direction, because you can work on fashion business. That means buying, for example, or means social media or communication. So it's broad. There are so many professions.
It's a very interesting field and very far away from anything that I do. So I'm very excited to learn a lot about it, actually. And you mentioned Istituto Marangoni. I mean, it's a very prestigious and very well-known fashion school all over the world. It has campuses in Dubai, London, Milan, of course, and now here in Riyadh. Could you tell me, like, when the decision was made to open a campus here in Riyadh? Were you involved in that process?
Well, Marangoni, it's a very old school as well, as 19 years old. And in the last, let's say, 20 years, we opened campus all around the world. The last one before Riyadh was Dubai. We found out that the region is very interesting, that fashion is growing. And so after Dubai, we said, well, where is growing even more than in Dubai? And here we are. I know that Dubai and Saudi are completely different, but inside the region, there are two important references.
Amazing. Yeah. So, I mean, you touched up on it a little bit. So, would you say there was a main factor that inspired the move to Saudi?
I think that here there are two elements. The first one is the passion for fashion. People here love fashion, no? When I say I'm from Italy, they tell me, oh, yes, Loro Piana or Zegna or the other brand. Yeah. And the other one is that they love doing fashion. There are, for example, a lot of interesting emergent brand, a lot of brand of abaya, a lot of brand of streetwear as well. So there are these two elements.
It's very unique, the fashion here, right?
It's very unique because it's a unique blend of contemporary trend and, let's say, heritage. No?
Yeah.
So you see line and shape and volume that are very contemporary, and then you see embroidery that are very traditional, or the opposite.
Amazing, amazing. And so I know you've spent decades studying consumer psychology. From a fashion perspective, could you tell me in general, why do people buy things?
For a lot of reasons. Because you are happy, because you are sad, because the weather is changing. There are a lot of reasons. Because you want to follow the trend, because you don't want to follow the trend. I mean, people buy different things for different reasons, not only in fashion. One thing that I always do that is super funny, and I invite you to do the same, is when you are at the supermarket, check on the basket of people, and you can understand a lot about them. You see that, for example, the same person buy junk food and organic vegetable. That is normal because you are human with a lot of contradiction.
Yeah.
And this is the same reason why we buy, I don't know, fast fashion and a high level brand, or street style and classic clothes.
Amazing. Yeah, so I think you can apply the same theory to people in a fashion store or in any other place that sells clothes. You can
Absolutely.
see different. I mean, even personally, I like to, in my own fashion sense, I like to balance between street and just minimal classic stuff. Depends obviously on the occasion. always.
Depend on the day sometime, no?
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel more classy, sometimes you feel more, let's say, avant-garde.
Yeah.
But it's not only about, okay, where I go, who I gonna meet, but it's about your mood.
Yeah, and it's very interesting how much the way you're dressed affects the way you feel or you
See,
think.
even the color. Sometimes you feel more, let's say, dark. Sometimes you want a neutral color. Sometimes you feel pinky. Not a man usually, but
Well,
who
maybe
knows?
some as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. So years from now, I think Saudi is very likely to have many globally recognizable luxury and fashion brands.
So,
And I could imagine that a lot of their founders could be in your classrooms today. I want to know, how do you feel knowing that you are shaping the next generation of talent?
oh, well, they are very talented, I will say. They are very keen to learn. They work a lot. Sometimes they complain that they work too much. But what I really like is see how they grow. No? After the first year, I saw the collection that they did, how much they are passionate. They make mistakes, but this is normal because they are young, they are in the early stage. But to see how much they are passionate, this is the best part, and it means that they will be successful, I am sure.
Amazing. To follow up on this, I imagine when you first arrived in Riyadh, you had some expectations. I would like to know, what are some assumptions you had about Saudi students, and how are the characteristics you noticed in them different to students in Europe?
I didn't have expectation, to be honest.
Really?
No, I didn't. Even because when I used to teach in Milano, I had people from all around the world, no,
Yeah.
in class. Because in Milano you have people from East of Europe, Latin America, Middle East. It's a mix. So I didn't have a specific expectation. But what surprised me is the engagement that the students have. So, for example, we do a talk with a professional. They come and they want to listen. We invite them to a visit to a showroom. They come and they do a lot of questions and they ask. So they are very involved. They are keen to learn.
Amazing. So they're very interested. Yeah, I feel
They
like
are.
it's now like this scene is growing here a lot,
See.
and there's a lot to learn, especially from Europe, which has developed that industry for many
See.
years.
And in some way, everything for them is new.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, like, they're very eager to learn, you'd say, yeah?
Exactly.
Amazing. I want to move on and ask you a direct question. It's a bit funny, though. Why do girls want Birkins?
Not only the girls, all the women.
Yeah, in general, women.
Because it's a desire object, because it's not easy to get it, no? There is this theory of scarcity. When something is not easy to get, you want it.
Okay.
So the Birkin is exactly that. There is the waiting list. To be in the waiting list, you should wait. It could be that you don't get it. So it's not about the product. It's all the journey that bring you to the product. It's the same for some model of watches, like some Rolex model, or Patek Philippe for you guys. It's
Yeah.
like for the Birkin for us.
Yeah, I was just going to say, do you think it's the same as guys or men wanting Rolexes and APs?
Some Rolex, exactly. Because it's something unique. And is something that, let's say, if you know, you know. If you are into the fashion, you immediately recognize a Birkin. It's not written Birkin,
Yes,
no?
yes.
You don't need it.
Yeah. What do you think about the brands that try to paste their name? Like, do you think it's...
It's a different strategy and it's a different target. No, so there is someone that prefer this. If you know style. There is Zegna, Loro Piana, or The Raw in the US, and there are other brands that put the big name. I don't want to say that one is right and one is wrong. Both of them they work. So probably the target is different.
Yeah, it makes sense. I would like to know also, after years of studying consumer psychology, what is one spending habit or buying habit that you've changed within yourself?
To me as a
Yes, to
person.
you as a person.
Okay, I don't know if I can say, but before buying, I think twice.
Really?
Because I think, okay, but I really need it. It's not about money, but it's about, okay, I buy something that I don't wear, then it's stuck in my wardrobe. Is a waste for the environment. So, okay, this is really what I want, or what I want now is something different, and I try to fill these needs with the product.
Okay, that's very interesting. You think a lot of people try to sort of feed a certain external feeling by buying items or luxury items?
Me
specifically?
too, as well. No,
Yeah.
of course it is normal. As I said, you feel sad and you buy something. You feel frustrated or depressed, and is a way to fill these needs. What I try to do is just step down and think, okay, this is exactly what we want. I need it. I don't need it usually, but I want it.
It's rare that you would need it. I get you. But it's still nice to get some,
No, of
some luxury
course,
stuff sometimes.
I
Some
want-
impulse buying, actually, without thinking, right?
No, I won't spoil myself.
Yeah.
So, for example, I was in Milano. I went to Uniqlo. No, that is a Japanese, let's say, fast fashion. They have this collection they made in collaboration with J.W. Anderson, and I bought these because it was
Okay.
nice. No, it's a collaboration. It's something different. It was not so expensive. The quality is good. So I spoil myself on that way.
Okay, so you mentioned the very interesting word, collaboration.
Say.
And I think you're definitely aware of the recent collaboration trend that broke the internet.
Audemars Piguet.
I want to know your honest opinion on the collaboration between AP and Swatch.
Well, I wrote an article about that on Corriere della Sera. I think that there was great on communication because they crush literally everything. And then I think that even the product was cool because it was not a watch, no? But it was more
Like a
an
pocket watch, yeah.
Right, it was more an accessory, something that you can put here or you can hang to your bag. So something that you can show off in
Yeah.
different ways. So they was great.
It definitely built a lot of hype. And
Say.
actually, what was interesting is that a lot of the marketing and images going live about it way before the launch were all AI. It was no one really knew what they looked like.
Say.
And it's incredible how much buzz they created.
There was long line in front of the store. People fight to enter.
Yes. It was crazy here. They didn't sell them in every store, actually.
No,
because of
just
the
in a
fights that
few.
happened. Yeah.
And what was interesting is that the previous collaboration that Swatch did, like the one with Omega,
Omega.
was with the brand that is part of the same group.
Yeah.
Because Omega is a Swatch group. In
Yes.
this case, they made a collaboration with a brand that is the top and is a different company. No? So it was interesting.
Who do you think this collaboration helped more? Do you think it helped Swatch more or AP?
It's a win-win. Otherwise, they don't do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it helped Swatch because they increased the buzz but even Audemars Piguet, because I think that a lot of people that they are not on that business, they didn't know the brand before, and now they know. And it could be that you are like 15 years old guy, and now you know about Audemars Piguet. It could be that if you are lucky, and in 20 years or even less, you can buy the Audemars
APs,
Piguet.
yeah.
Exactly.
I like your point on that. Definitely. Yeah. They definitely reached a new audience, AP, with that.
Yeah, the goal is that.
So, moving on with the trend, you know how Saudi Arabia has become one of the fastest growing luxury markets in the world today. Do you think there are any misconceptions that global luxury brands still have about the Saudi consumers?
I think that the luxury brands are learning about because probably at the beginning they thought that all the GCC was a bit the same. That is not true completely. And step by step, they are learning even about the special occasion like the Ramadan collection. No? There is a huge business here. So, Yeah, they are learning. They are understanding who is the Saudi customer and understanding even the difference because a woman of 50 and a girl of 25, they don't have the same taste. They don't want the same thing. So the luxury brands are learning.
That's true, and there's a lot of cultural aspects to appeal to here as well
See,
that are also different in the whole of GCC.
exactly.
I want to talk a little bit about the desire that people have for these luxury brands. So obviously they spend so much money to build that desire within the people. We want to know, in your opinion, what is the single biggest psychological trigger that makes someone fall completely in love with a brand?
You mean a luxury brand or a brand in general?
Luxury brand specifically.
I think that you are in love with a brand when you recognize something of your identity in the brand, no? So, for example, if you're more, let's say, a quite luxury person, you're more in love with that kind of brand because you feel a connection.
Yeah.
Is something more emotional. You recognize something. If you are more a show-off person, you are more in love, like the brand, like could be Versace, let's say. So it should be like a vibe, a common vibe.
Okay.
And that vibe can change because when you are 20, you don't have the same vibe than when you are 40, no?
100%. Yeah, maybe when you're younger, you want something more showing
Flashy.
off, flashy. When you're younger, it's called.
See, or you want something that speak to your community, like Supreme, no?
I mean, for me personally, I like more the quiet side.
Okay.
Supreme is like 16-year-old
Yeah,
kids, you know, they
Yeah.
like, go crazy over it.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So that I want to follow up with that question and ask you: do you think most people buy luxury items for their own pleasure, or is it sometimes more to impress others?
Both of them. Some people are more in their own pleasure. They want to own something that is well done, that is unique. So, for example, they go to the tailor, no, that
Yeah, they
makes
get tailored,
something
yeah.
tailor-made. Some people want just to impress and show off. I can afford it.
Yeah.
I think this depend. I think that is depend even on your age. Sometimes, as you said, when you are younger, you want to be more flashy, and then you became more quiet. Or it depends on your attitude, the family where you grow.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also maybe it's the feeling of getting access to a certain lifestyle or a
Sure.
certain group of people who have certain trends that they follow is a
Absolutely.
feeling that many people also chase.
See.
They want to feel like they're a part of something.
See, absolutely. And a lot of brands, they are working on the experience because of that, you know?
Yes.
So they don't sell just the product, but they sell, for example, the experience in the restaurant or the cafeteria
Yeah.
or the cruise, because you feel that you are part of that happy few.
That's a very good point. It's like when you go buy like a expensive watch, Rolex or Cartier, for example. The experience they give you there is very exciting. So they make you feel like you're special.
See, I remember a friend of mine that bought a Rolex and was super excited because they gifted him some chocolate
Yeah.
with the crown. No, so it was not just buying the Rolex, but all the world
The whole
around.
experience.
Yeah.
Yes. It makes
Even
a
the
big difference.
chocolate.
It makes a big difference.
So,
I have a question about you personally. Obviously, you've spent your life analyzing fashion. I want to know, does that make getting dressed easier, or does it make your wardrobe decisions way more difficult now?
okay, if I can, I would wear a uniform, so I don't have to think about that.
Yeah.
You know, like Steve Jobs, no? That
Yep,
you
yep.
wear
One
a
t-shirt,
uniform.
that's it.
Exactly,
No
that's
shoes.
it. You don't have to think about that. Halas. It depends. Sometimes I get fun, no, to find my outfit. Tomorrow is Tuesday, and we have at Marangoni Tuesday at Istituto Marangoni.
Yeah.
That is a talk that we have once a month. And before I was thinking, what I can dress tomorrow.
It
You
was
know?
a difficult decision or not?
No, it was just fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want just to wear t-shirt, denim, and that's it. It depends on the day.
You find your comfort more in like the Steve Jobs style, just something uniform.
Yeah, because you know is that, but I want to have fun as well. So be a more formal, classy change.
Yeah. Do you find fashion like a way to express yourself?
Absolutely, yes, a way to express yourself, how you feel, who you want to be that day.
Yeah. Yeah. What character are you fitting
Playing,
into? Yeah,
yes. But sometimes you don't want waste or spend energy on that. So this is the uniform day.
amazing. I want to ask you, what advice would you give to a young Saudi designer who dreams of building the next international luxury brand?
Study. Study a lot. Because it's important to know everything. It's important to know the material, the supply chain, how to set the right price, how to market, how to manage a showroom. Is very complex. It's not only about, oh, I am good on drawing.
Yeah.
No. Study, build a network, know people, don't be afraid to ask help, don't be afraid to make mistake because you will do, but keep studying, keep learning.
What about like the more, let's say, in-depth stuff about fashion? Like, do you have any advice in terms of creativity, or for example, just to focus purely on marketing, since
You should balance. If you think about the company that work, there was always a good balance between the creativity and the business. No, I mentioned, the first one is Domenico De Sole, Tom Ford. No, there was or Alessandro Michele and Marco
They were
Bizzarri.
good businessmen as well.
Yeah, one was more creative and the other one was more business. No? Tom Ford, is a businessman, but he's more a creative person.
Yeah.
Domenico De Sole was the business. Alessandro Michele is creativity, but Marco Bizzarri was the business side. So you should balance both. Because if you are super creative, but you don't know how the market is, it doesn't work. If you are poor business, the customer understands that there is not a soul,
Yeah, they can tell always. So I want to move on and talk a little bit about fashion history and where some of the biggest names were rooted and stuff. And for the viewers, if you own any items from Dior or Chanel, I guarantee that the following is definitely going to change the way you view these items. So let's take Dior and Chanel, for example. So Dior and Chanel are probably two of the most recognizable names in the world.
Right.
And you see them everywhere. You see them on perfumes, on bags, maybe all over social media as well.
Correct.
But I just feel like a lot of people who own these items don't really know exactly where these brands come from, where they stem from. Because both of these houses, they were born, they were tested, and during the let's say one of the world's darkest times, which is World War II. And I honestly find these stories very fascinating.
Yeah, and you mentioned two brands that are completely different, no? Because if you think, for example, the shape or the volume of Chanel, that was a bit, let's say, masculine, no? But on the other side, Dior was the new look that was very feminine, no? But in the same time,
during the same era, difficult
same
times
era.
Well. So that brings me to my question. You know that Chanel closed her Chanel closed her fashion house the day World War II broke out and didn't reopen for 15 years. And when she finally reopened in 1954, the world has obviously moved on and things have changed. So I want to know, how does a brand survive that and come back even stronger?
I mean, I think that in case of Chanel, Coco Chanel was really the heart of the company, no? And then, of course, the family was able to keep going. But I think that Coco Chanel was very good in understand what we call, with the German word, I will pronounce it the bad way, Zeitgeist. That is the vibe of the time, what is going on. She was able to understand what people want, what is coming out. And she understood before the war and then after the war.
Amazing. So she had that connection to the people and how they're feeling at the time.
Yeah, with the society.
So she was pretty much producing her fashion with the society.
See, because she understood what women want, what is changing, and she was able to, in some way, anticipate that.
Amazing. And also during World War II, we know that Paris was under German occupation and the city was completely transformed. However, the fashion houses, they stayed open at that time. So what is it about fashion that is so powerful that it was able to survive such difficult times?
Well, probably in that difficult time you need a dream. And the fashion in some way is a dream, no? So it was okay, the time are horrible, but we can survive and keep this piece of dream anyway.
So would you say it was like a hope for them? They were able
Well,
to look at
probably it was a hope, I was say, and it was even never give up, no? I mean, we are here, we still work on that, even if everything is destroyed.
Also, during that time, the Germans tried to relocate the French fashion industry from Paris all the way to Berlin and Vienna. However, they failed. So, what is it about Paris that makes it impossible to replace as the capital of fashion?
Well, as Italian, I would say that the capital of fashion is
Is
Milano.
Milan?
No,
I think both of them
no,
are
I'm joking,
on par,
of
yeah.
course. But Paris has a unique vibe, no? And you see when you are there how people dress, for example. The way they dress, even the clochard, they are stylish in Paris,
Yeah.
you know? Everyone is super stylish. It's the vibe of the city. It's a unique mix.
It's, you would say fashion is part of the
Oh,
city.
DNA of Parisian, yes.
Same as Milan as well. I remember.
See, better Milano. No, I'm joking. Same as Milano, but a bit in a different way, no? Because Paris is more haute couture, Milano is more prêt-à-porter, and you see that in the way people dress.
Wow. No, you're absolutely right because even when I visited Milan, it's true that everywhere you look around you, people are very well dressed. You can actually see it everywhere.
See, if I compare with other countries, we always dress up.
Yeah. Amazing. During that time also, Christian Dior launched the new look, obviously in 1947, and that was after years of war, rationing, and survival. And when he did that, suddenly he brought back full skirts, cinched waists, and he brought back pure femininity. Why is that moment in history so powerful?
I think that what he did was give the woman back the femininity, no? Because during the Second World War, the man was fighting, so the woman became the man of the house, no? And then, okay, after the Second World War, you can be again a feminine silhouette, no? Make like in the
Yeah.
past century. You can feel again beautiful. You can have back all that femininity power.
Yeah. So that moment is remembered very well in history because of what he brought back
See?
for women. We know that thousands of luxury products disappear every year. Thousands of luxury products disappear every year. Yet Chanel number 5 has been continuously sold since 1921, and it has survived through 2 world wars, through the Great Depression, many revolutions. What do you think makes a fashion product actually timeless?
I think that the Chanel number 5 is like the smell of Chanel, you know? If you want a piece of Chanel, you buy number 5. If you can't afford the bag of Chanel or the tire, anyway, you can have an important piece with the fragrance. Then as that history, because the name number 5 came from Madame Coco Chanel,
Yes.
that tried the different fragrance, and she said, okay, I like the number 5, you know? So it's the most basic name in the world, but wow, everyone knows that.
Yeah, and it stayed for so long.
Is less is more.
Less is always more. Today, Saudi is building its own luxury and fashion ecosystem, and it's growing very quickly. If you could give every Saudi fashion entrepreneur a piece of advice that is inspired by these houses that survived during these difficult times and survived everything during the war, what would that advice be?
Follow your identity. Because sometimes the new brand, at the beginning they have their own identity, then there is a trend and they follow the trend, and in some way they lose their unique element. Keep on that. Even if you do maximalism and everyone is on the minimalist, don't care. If you think that maximalism is good and fit your needs and show what the customer are, keep going with that.
Okay. Amazing. I want to move on to a more fun segment. I'm gonna give you two options, and I would want you to choose which one you like more, and maybe you can give a slight explanation if you want.
Right. Let's try.
Okay. Let's do this. So, first one, Coco Chanel or Christian Dior?
Oh, Coco Chanel. No doubt. I mean, you think about Coco Chanel and Christian Dior, not the brand, right? Not Chanel and Dior as a brand.
First of all, as people.
No, Coco Chanel. For a woman, she's an icon.
Yeah.
She was so modern, so contemporary. No doubt.
Is there something about the Chanel brand itself that you also connect to, or no?
No, I really like the brand now. With the Mathieu Blasi, I really like what they are doing. Because of that, I was asking, you're talking about the person or the brand. Yeah. Now I really like what the brand is doing. The last fashion show was very nice. I would buy everything and wear everything, you know. It's not something far away that, okay, is nice, but it's not my daily life.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, vintage or brand new?
Vintage, no doubt. I prefer vintage. To be honest, I don't buy a lot of new stuff.
Really?
Just Uniqlo. And I buy a lot of vintage and even second-hand.
Wow.
See, I prefer.
Do you like the idea that they're more rare and it's more difficult to acquire them?
I like the idea that they have a good quality with a good price.
Okay.
Because some pieces made 20 years ago sometimes are better in terms of quality than the pieces of nowadays. And they have an affordable price. And then it's something different because sometimes if you go in the store, it could be a super high-end store, a fast fashion, more or less you find the same thing. When you go in a vintage or in the second, and everything is different, no? You find your small treasure, let's say.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you're absolutely right. Like the common stores here, they copy each other, copy paste. They sell the exact same things in just maybe slightly different styles.
Well, I tell you a story. My daughter, that is 27, should go to a bridal party and she needs a dress. And I told her, go to Zara and bought. And she told me, if I go to Zara, I will find 10 girls with the same dress, you know? Because then at the end of the day, this is the market.
That's true. Yeah, everybody's going to look the same then. But as a fashion expert, do you usually try to like give some unique fashion advice to her or no?
To my
something
daughter?
To make her stand out?
No, because I am her mom. So no, if I say something, she will do the opposite. No.
Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, do you think luxury should be exclusive or accessible?
As definition, luxury is exclusive, no? The word means that it's exclusive. Yeah. If you do something every day, it's not anymore luxury. But if we think about the business, luxury could be like a pyramid with different levels, and we have from the super exclusive luxury to the, let's say, accessible luxury. Mm-hmm. Because when I buy Chanel No. 5, I buy something that is luxury in terms of identity, idea, vibe, but is accessible.
Yeah.
But as a concept, luxury is exclusive.
Yeah, that's the whole point of luxury, I think, too. Because if everyone can have it, then I don't think it's going to feel like luxury anymore, right?
See, correct, but you can have different things, no? Hermes, a few people can have the Birkin, but a lot of women, they can have the lipstick.
I get your point, yeah. So maybe like the sandals are easily, or slippers are easier accessible.
Say.
And it has towards the Hermes name, so they feel like they're part of it as well.
See, it's not just the name, it's even the quality, the vibe, the style, and so on.
Definitely. I mean, there's always levels to it. Like there's a level, for example, Loro Piana, my favorite brand. There's people who can get the loafers. There's people who can start getting clothes, and there's people that get custom tailored Loro Piana clothes.
Absolutely.
So even luxury has levels to it.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Would you prefer an AI designer or a human designer?
A human.
Really? AI might be more...
it's more effective, but it's predictable.
Really?
Doesn't make mistake. Sometimes from the mistake, you say, wow, this is a mistake, but it's nice. For example, if I say putting together purple and red, no, are two colors that...
Yeah.
But Coco Chanel put together them in an amazing way.
Okay. Do you use AI anyway in fashion?
Me?
Yes.
I am very basic in AI. I just ask ChatGPT stupid or Claude stupid information. But I know that, the use of AI is increasing, of course.
Even in fashion?
I think so. I don't know, to be honest, which level, but it's increasing everywhere, so why not in fashion?
Okay, the perfect product or the perfect brand story?
In my opinion,
Yes.
well, Birkin is a great product. The story, no? The story of Jane Birkin on the flight that we don't know if it's true or not, but anyway, was Jane Birkin that was super elegant. The product is great because it's something that anyway it's useful, you
Yes.
know? It's not like that small bag that is something that you can use in your every day. Is Hermes, there is the scarcity, there is everything.
Yeah, but would you say people buy Hermes more? I think people buy it more for the story and the feeling rather than the
Absolutely.
product itself.
But the quality is great, of course, because otherwise you don't buy it. This is a must.
Yeah.
But people buy Hermes, the Birkin, because of the story, the scarcity, and blah, blah, blah.
So you've just popped a question in my mind. Do you think if Hermes remains the same story as now and the same like excitement around it, but suddenly they lower the product quality by much, so that the product became in very bad quality, do you think people will stop wanting them or not?
Not in a while, not immediately, but time by time they will stop. This is one of the problem of the company, no? A lot of fashion company in the last year they increase the price. Chanel, the bag, the one with the chain, they
Yes.
doubled the price. But they didn't increase the quality. The customer is not stupid, you know? Okay, I buy once and then there are a bunch of review and
People start talking, people start saying the quality is bad. But I have a feeling that the consumers themselves are not going to change their mind by looking at the quality. I feel like if the perspective around the product changes overall and people start talking about how bad the quality has got, then that reputation might lead
absolutely, the reputation is a fact. I don't know if you remember, a couple of years ago, there was a big scandal about the calendar of Advent of Chanel. Because the brand started selling this Advent calendar, no? Like
Yes,
the one
yes,
for
yeah.
the...
For Christmas, right?
For Christmas.
Yeah.
Like the one that you have here for the Ramadan.
Yeah.
And the brand started doing that. And Chanel did one that cost like 500 euros. And the girl bought it and then show what there was inside that was...
Not worth it, yeah?
And it was a huge mess for the brand. So they should say, okay, sorry, blah, 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 blah. So a brand won't increase the profit, but won't keep the reputation as well.
Okay. What would you say is the better investment? An Hermes Birkin or a Rolex?
Both. I don't know, to be honest. I think that the Rolex is depend on the model. No,
Yeah.
I am not so into
Not the
the
basic
watches.
models,
Yeah, because some models, the ear of the watch. I mean, the Birkin is the Birkin.
Yeah.
The Rolex, it could be like the Daytona, the Paul Newman, the one of this year or that year. So it's more hard to find the right investment. For the Birkin is the Birkin.
So you would invest in a Birkin or a Rolex, personally?
Personally, I would invest
As an
in
investment, more
as an
than-
investment in
Yeah.
a Rolex.
In a Rolex.
See.
Okay, nice. So I asked you a little bit about AI.
I don't know if I'm able to reply, but I will try.
Yeah, I just have like a random question because I'm curious, because I can't honestly figure out exactly where they're fitting AI right now. Maybe in creativity and designs. So do you think AI can ever replace human creativity in fashion? Or will luxury always need a human story behind it? Like you just talked about the Birkins, the story behind it.
I think that AI is a tool, so can support creativity, but the creativity is human. I mean, the way you put together two things that are completely different is you. You walk in a street, you see this, and in the evening you watch a TV show, and you put together this element, this is you, it's not AI. Then AI can help you to tell the story, to find the right word, to invest in the right media, whatever. But the idea, the connection is human.
You always need that human touch for it. I
think so. In fashion, I think so.
I think even in many other industries, human emotion and human feeling is always needed for anything.
The ability to thinking out of the box or to connect things that
maybe AI wouldn't be able to.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a good point. You touched up a little bit on this in a previous question, but I would want you to tell me a little bit more about it. What do you think is more important for the success of a luxury brand? Is it creative designs or is it strong marketing?
Both of them. I think that it's important to be creative and to understand what the customer wants and then market that in the right way. There are cases of brands that spend a bunch of money in marketing, but the product was not good. They were successful for a while, but then you don't want them anymore just because there is the hype. But to keep the hype, you should put money, no?
It will be too expensive in the long run.
Doesn't make sense. On the other side, if you have the idea, something that is in line with the need of that customer, that speak with that customer, if you have the right strategy, you are able to target. No, so if you want to target the young one, you should use TikTok, not Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay? Of course. But if you have the good strategy, it works.
Okay.
It's a good mix.
Both are definitely needed. Do you know of any specific brand that usually tries to go above and beyond in the creativity to the point where it makes things look like very unusual to humans?
Oh, there are a lot of brands that are super creative. Margiela was very, very creative. Rick Owens, if you think about the volume there, it's very creative. There are a lot. In Japan, there are all the Japanese
fashion
brands.
is a whole different world.
They are very conceptual but very creative.
They go above and beyond in many designs.
But you see, even people on the street, they are so stylish.
Very.
Super stylish.
They have their own sense of style there.
And they are very minimal, no?
It depends. No, I think there's a part that's minimal, but there's also a part that's very
experimental.
Outlandish, yeah.
But they are not maximalist. They are experimental, no?
Yeah. I think if the right term would probably be more experimental. Okay. 5 years from now, do you think the next globally influential luxury brand or a fashion brand will come from the traditional fashion capitals like Paris or Milan, like you said? Or do you think there's a high chance it could come from Riyadh?
It will be a mix. For sure, the brand as Prada, Dior, Chanel, Zegna, they will keep the stage. But we will have more local, more brand born in Riyadh or in Jeddah.
It's going to be very exciting to see. I want to ask you, if you were to give me fashion advice, and if I told you that, my preferred style is minimalist.
I see.
I like to, I don't know, look classy, but at the same time, plain colors maybe. Mm-hmm. And I don't really like to mix it up much. What would you suggest the best brands for me to look at?
It depends how much you want to spend.
Yeah, from both. Let's say dailies and also maybe statement pieces.
Zegna, Loro Piana, this kind of brand. On the other side, Uniqlo, if you want something.
They're very good for basic.
Very good
I wish
for
they had
basic.
Uniqlo in here in Saudi.
I know. When I go back to Italy, I immediately go to Uniqlo.
You have to stock up on them, yeah?
Yeah, we don't have here. There is Muji here in Riyadh, but Muji, they have some clothes, but it's more for home stuff. But they have some clothes that they are basic, clean, simple.
Do you have any go-to shops here in Saudi that you go to?
No, not really. No, I go sometime to Muji, but that's it.
You always have to do the daily stop in Milan to
go to Uniqlo. Exactly.
Amazing. So to kind of sum up the podcast, I want to ask you one final question.
Sí.
If you can have dinner with one fashion icon, in the past or in the present, who would it be and why?
Urka. One?
Yes. Think about the discussions you could have. Think about what you could ask them and just
the presence. No. Okay. One, I would say Coco Chanel.
Okay.
for sure. But if I can pick one that is still alive, I will say, for example, J.W. Anderson, to understand his career, how he changed, how now he's able to manage all this huge work for Dior and Uniqlo as well, So,
If he was to see this clip, what is the one question you would direct to him?
to me?
Yeah, to him.
To J.W. Anderson?
Yes, Anderson.
How you can survive, man, with all this work? Tell me. No, because I think that now there is a lot of pressure, no?
Yeah.
So, I mean...
So let's hope he sees this clip and
he called me.
gives you a call about that.
Okay, I will tell you.
Okay. I mean, thank you very much, Anna Zinola.
My
This was a
pleasure.
pleasure. I was very happy to have you on, and
My pleasure, really.
thank you very much.
Thank you.